If we have to work, we might as well do something that we enjoy, right? 8% of Americans are currently working their dream job in a recent survey that I found. And only 1 in 10 Americans are working their dream job that they wanted to do since childhood. You may be thinking, okay, so what is the credibility of these two surveys? I honestly found the two surveys on Google. But before you judge the credibility of the surveys, I would ask you to ask yourself, am I currently working my dream job? And do I know anyone in my close-knit circle that currently works their dream job? When I thought about this, the harsh reality of these surveys being true rung loud and clear. There are a small percentage of people currently that are able to work their dream jobs. When I thought about it, when I looked at these statistics, when I seen 8%, you would think that I would become envious of those people that get up each and every day and get to live a life that by design and doing something that they really enjoy doing. But I didn't. I'm not envious of those people. I want to know, how did they do it? And if you're like me, you are curious to figure out, how did they do it as well? It's pretty simple to get a job, right? I've had my fair share of jobs in various different industries, from corporate finance to taxes to work from home retail to even gig work. And when I thought about these particular jobs in various industries, the process in itself varied, right? It depended upon the job. And in those particular industries that I've worked in, I would ask you, so which job did you think that probably had more so an extensive hiring process and took a little bit more work to get? If you guess financial services and corporate finance, you're absolutely right. So when I went to work for corporate finance right out of college, to get this job, it required work, and to keep the job, it required work. So what did that process look like for me? One, of course, like all of us, I had to fill out the application. I had a phone interview. I also had a 4-hour in-person interview. This consisted of a one-on-one interview, also a group interview. Once I found out that I got the job, it did not stop there. Then I had to sit through 6 weeks worth of studying, because I had to obtain 2 financial services license. I had to get my Series 7 and my Series 63 license. So I had to pass 2 tests, get licensed. And then after that, I also had a few weeks of your standard job orientation, just to figure out how to do the job itself. So it was a pretty extensive process. It took work to get the job. It took work to keep the job. I was at this job for right at 6 years. But with me spending 6 years at this particular company in investment management, that time, it never turned into it being my dream job. Have you ever had a conversation with someone, whether you're just meeting them or you haven't seen them in a while, and usually the question comes up, so what do you do? And always when someone asks, so what do you do? They are particularly asking, what do you do for work, right? And I realize people tend to answer this question in 1 to 3 ways. One, you either say, I do XYZ, but I completely hate it and I'm in the process of finding something else. You either say, 2, I work in a particular industry. It's just okay, but I'm there because the money is great. The benefits are great. Or 3, the person will say, I help with, and they immediately light up. They tell you about their passion. They tell you about their line of work. They find joy in what they do on a day-to-day basis in regards to their job. But there's also an unspoken group, and we'll get to that a little later in the video. But when someone asks you, what do you do? How do you answer the question? Do you light up with excitement of passion for your work? Do you immediately say, I'm fed up, I do XYZ, but I'm looking for something else, I completely hate it? Or do you say, you know what, it's okay, it's not the best, but it pays the bills and it has great benefits? When I think about this question of what do you do, Honestly, the question, I do not like the question at all. It's a popular question in our world for us to want to know what someone else does, right? So what do you do? What do you do? The reason why I particularly don't like this question is because I feel like this question is used as a way to gauge how you're going to interact with an individual and the respect that you're going to give an individual just purely based off of what they do, right? And I don't like it. I don't like how it categorizes individuals. Like all of us are unique, but that just conversation of what do you do? I don't know. I'm always taken back by it, especially if I'm just meeting someone. Like it could be general conversation, it could be lighthearted, but just that question of what do you do? I feel like we can change that question, right? A better question to ask someone is, what do you enjoy doing? Right? Do you see how that can immediately change the atmosphere in the in the overall energy of you talking with someone? And the reason why it changes is because when you ask someone, what do you enjoy doing? All of the responses that you will receive will be positive. But what'll happen is that person will probably have to take some time to figure out what is it that they really enjoy doing, because that's not a normal question that someone asks them. It's always, what do you do? What do you do? We always have our elevator pitch. Well, I do such and such and such. I help such and such and such. And I do this and I do that. But what do you enjoy doing? I want to have more conversations with people about what is it that you genuinely enjoy doing. Oh, let's talk about your dreams. Let's talk about your aspirations. Let's not just talk about the what do you do to just to make money, right? So you may be wondering, if you made it this far in the video, you may be wondering, okay, so Terry, so what is it that you do? Like you probably still want to know my answer. So what do you do? And how do you answer this question? So currently, y'all, I work from home as an online chat agent for a jewelry brand. And I, do I love the job? I can confidently say that I do not love the job. I can confidently say the job currently pays my bills, but I know that that is not where I will end up. And that's my honest answer. I can tell you where I currently am, but if you ask me, Terry, what do you enjoy doing? What do you aspire to do? This is where you'll see me light up, because I'm more so concerned and I'm more so working towards to be a part of that unspoken group that I had mentioned previously in the video. I'm working on becoming a part of the unspoken group. So what is this unspoken group? Let me know. Like you talk about this, Terry, like this is like some secret society. What is this unspoken group? I knew that there has to be some people that operate different than what I was currently operating in, or had a different mindset than what I had developed. I knew that there were some people in this world that genuinely took the time to create a life that they enjoy living. They didn't accept what society told them that they had to do. They didn't accept the plan of, well, everybody has done it like this and this is what you have to do with your particular life. No, there are a small subset group of people that said, no, like I'm not living my life like that, and I'm living my life by design. I am going to create a life that I enjoy living. So, who is this small set group of people, you may ask? This small group of people have a strong belief in they were created to do something. They were not created for a dream job, but rather they were created for a distinct purpose and for them to design a life around that purpose. Sounds wild, right? Like it sounds out of the norm, because it is. It truly is. And this is why this group is the unspoken group, because it's not within the society norm. And it's not within what society wants you to believe either. The unspoken group refused to live a life that was handed to them, but rather created a life they wanted to live. So you may be wondering, okay, this unspoken group, how can I become a part of this unspoken group? From experience, from what I've read, from what I've studied, and from own personal experiences, I've seen a few things to be true for this unspoken group. One, the unspoken group has a strong belief in their self and they have mastered their own self identity. I'll say that again. One, the unspoken group has mastered self identity. They know who they are and they know what their beliefs are. Secondly, the unspoken group, this group creates more than they consume. They take action and they take action fast. They aren't afraid to try new things and they aren't afraid to fail. So when we think about it, this group creates more than they consume. So when we think about creating more than we consume, this is in every area of your life. Have you been looking at somebody else show up? Have you been looking at somebody else try the thing that you've been wanting to try? Have you been looking at somebody else continuously make content? Have you been looking at somebody else make videos on YouTube? Have you been on the sidelines looking at other people attempt to try to do the things that you personally want to do? How long are you going to sit on the sidelines and aspire and admire for somebody else to at least try to do something that you've been wanting to do yourself for so long? But you've been so in your head about what you can do, what you cannot do, and thinking that that person is so different than what you are. No, absolutely not. All of us can become a part of the unspoken group, but we first have to, one, have that strong identity in yourself, and then two, create more than you consume. Thirdly, what I realized, is after trying all these things, right? After trying all these things, the unspoken group was not afraid to fail. And because they were not afraid to fail and they continuously tried things, they realized a particular thing that they were absolutely amazing at. It came natural. They enjoyed doing it. And not only were they amazing at it, whatever that whatever they discovered what their purpose was, they were able to assist other people in doing so. In assisting other people in doing so, they were able to design a life around the thing that they genuinely enjoyed doing. And when you think about it, like I'm so taken back by some of these things when we think about jobs and we think about staying so many years, spending valuable time in our lives, and certain people will stay at the same place year in and year out for the sake of just money. I can't fault those people, because everybody doesn't have a desire to design a life outside of what their life currently is, and that's okay. This video isn't to pressure you, or this video isn't to come down on you based on what you enjoy doing, based on the things, your job or whatever. No, this video is specifically for those that are just not comfortable. It's something in you that won't allow you to become content. It's something in you that won't allow you to stop. It's something that in you that is curious about people that live a life completely different than those that are around you in your close-knit circle. And there has to be, if you have any sort of idea that there has to be a better way or there has to be more to this, it absolutely is. And if you take nothing away from this video, I want you to know that if you want to become a part of the unspoken group, if you want to genuinely enjoy the life that you live, if you want to design a life on your terms, you absolutely have the power to do so. You have the power to change that. If you don't particularly like how you answer the question, so what do you do? Right? If you don't like your response, I don't know if you don't like your response. This is a personal time for you to self-reflect. Self-reflect on, do I want to continue my life as it is? Or do I want to be honest and say, I'm not happy with where I am. I'm not happy with what I do. I have a lot of more dreams and accomplishments that I want to achieve in this present life. Like, I want to see it. And I know that I have the ability to see it through if I just try to do something about it. Then I want to talk to you specifically You and I are the same. I want you to realize you have everything you need. I have everything I need. The only thing we have to do is continue to try. Even in the midst of whatever failure, what you think may be failure, we have to continue to try. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if we have to work, we might as well work on something that we enjoy. Right? Maybe you might not enjoy the process all the way, but in designing a life you truly deserve, and designing a life by design, based on what you're created to do, I want to see what that looks like, right? I don't want to reach an old age and be full of regret that I stayed somewhere knowing good and well I was unhappy for so many years and I just decided to stay. I don't think that is taking care of ourselves. If you want to take care of yourself, you have the personal responsibility to take care of yourself first, right? Not your job, not your parents, not your children, anybody. You have the personal responsibility of your own happiness and what you want to do and how you want to live your life. So I would charge you to take your power back. If you're unhappy, take your power back. I hope this video helped you in some way. And if it did, I would appreciate it if you go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Also consider dropping a comment as well. Let me know in any way that this video has helped you. And most importantly, I would appreciate it if you consider subscribing to the channel. Subscribe to the channel so you can join the Terry Shot. We're catching a major vibe, y'all, because we'll be coming back with another video. Let's go. I just wanna